while you're watching this, I'm not in currently Adelaide. Um, I'm on my well-deserved holiday that my ex took away from me 1 year ago. I'm in a good place mentally. Physically, I'm drained from a whole year of her not getting back to me, her not resolving this. I don't like at nights how every time I close my eyes, it's her I see. Every time someone mentions her name or that name, sends tingles down my spine. Of course I love her. Always will. But I don't understand how someone that can be with you for 6 years can fall out of love for you that quick. I really honestly believe that none of us can really mentally have a good life without resolving this peacefully. You know, I was talking on my Facebook the other day about how I wish things could have been different. You know, maybe I should have been more honest with her. Maybe I should have told her I did want marriage and I did want kids, but I didn't want to let my guard down. I've been alone most of my life. I've had two great loves, and she was one of them. I didn't think that I could ever find someone like my first love until she came into the picture. I was alone for a very long time. I do want what's best for her, and I honestly believe in my heart of hearts that me and her are meant to be together. Kids, marriage, our own house. It would be nice. I just never told her that. I do believe if both of us did seek help, we would be still together to this day. None of us were perfect. Not at all. You know, I regret some of the stuff I did. It wasn't always bad, but at the same time, you know, I don't think she ever realised how much I had to put up with her and her family. It was way too much for any man being her partner to put up with. See, in a relationship, no one ever is supposed to interfere. But her family did 24/7, which put a strain on our relationship. Now, she always, you know, judged other people about how they should be and they should grow up and act their age. But at the same time, the way she acted last year, that wasn't acting her age. That was more, you know, her being a child. If you can't stand on your own 2 feet and break up with someone, you know, the proper way, then what are you going to do for the rest of your life? You know, every time you get into a relationship, your parents are going to be the ones that decide who you can and can't be with. I've tried for a year. I've become this person that I know should be proud to call a partner, trust, feel safe and protected around, and loved. Unlike her partner, I don't have druggies on my Facebook, or strippers or whores. I don't have any of them. You know, I've really cleaned up my act in this whole year that we've been apart. I just don't understand how she can't even pick up the phone and say, how are you going? Or, are you ready to talk? Now, while you're seeing this vid, like I said, I'm not in Adelaide. I'm not going to be for a couple of days. I'm glad I'm getting away from things because I deserve this holiday. On this holiday, I'm seeing a best friend that, you know, has seen me pick up the pieces. Look, I lost the love of my life last year, and I don't think people seem to realize how much of an impact that made, because at the time I lost her and my two best friends of my life. I'm lucky to get one of them back, and I'm so glad to have that person back, and I've made new best friends, and as a person I've grown. You know, the first change is I've got a new cabinet where that TV is. I've, you know, there is a new bed if I wanted it, but I don't want the new bed because, you know. And people say to me, "You're never going to get over your ex-A," and I'm like, I can't. You know, I would love to find a beautiful person to marry and have kids with one day and not feel so alone, but realistically, it ain't going to happen. You know, I've changed so much in a year that I didn't think in a lifetime I could change. My diet, I'm eating healthy. I'm actually eating salads now. And anyone that knows me would be like, oh my god, he's changed. I'm not saying I'm going vegetarian or anything, but I do eat less meat. I've educated myself a lot on some things, and I've talked about it on YouTube and Facebook. I've become a better friend to a lot of people. I don't know where this goodness in my heart's come from. I guess I have my ex to thank for that, because I guess that's why she stayed with me for 6 years, because she saw this good side of me, and that's all that exists now. We're not all bad people in this world. I just think she needs to sit down and have this conversation with me. I would do anything to have that conversation. Now that court stuff's over, now that, you know, there's no rules, I'd love to pick up the phone and call her, but I can't do it. She was the one that walked away. You know, and she knows that I love her. She knows I care about her. She knows that what she has isn't a relationship what she has with her and her partner. I think she only is with him because she thinks she can't do better. Because he's a big guy and she's a big girl. And she thinks that, you know, no other guy will put up with her crap. It is true. Because most guys will not be with a girl like her. I can tell you that straight up. Now, I watch a show called Married at First Sight, and I see how disgusting men treat their partners on that show. And I looked at that show and went, you know, some parts of that, I was no different. One guy, you know, says that, oh, the woman's not his type, and he doesn't find her, you know, he wouldn't come up to her in a bar, and then it's like, yeah, but he defends her all the time. Very similar to me. But I fell in love with someone that wasn't my type. And all I think about them now is how beautiful inside and out my ex was. I'm not a bad guy. But we all have our breaking points. And if you know that you've got a breaking point, or if you know your partner has a breaking point, why push the subject? Why cause conflict when it doesn't need to be? Relationships, people do argue. People do fight. But if it's not all the time, then you can work it out. No man or woman should ever lay a finger on each other. I've always said that. I know I'll say that to the day I die. But I think if someone is in that situation where a man or a woman does put his finger on someone, it means that that person has pushed them too far. You know, it means that they've upset them too much to, you know, hold back. See, none of us want to be hurt. And I think that's what the thing is. Like, you can only push people too far, and everyone has their breaking points. And if they hit you, whether you're male or female, then what have you done to make them hit you? You must have done something to upset them so much for them to do that. Everyone always said to me, you never loved your ex, you were just with her because you couldn't get any better. I could have better a lot of times. In fact, there was one incident where I had a gorgeous blonde female friend in the car when I was dating my partner. My partner doesn't know to this day, but it was just a friend. And I would love to have them hang out and get to know each other, but I know what my partner was like. You know, she doesn't like women. And, you know, they would have caused conflict and arguments between each other, so I kept them away from each other. It would have been nice to have, you know, my partner, you know, socialise with my friends, but at the same time, you know, oh, by the way, I'm just, hang on. I'm just feeling a little bit hungry, so I'm using a zombie chews. I love that. But I'm just saying, you know, I wasn't always the bad guy in the relationship. I just had a lot to put up with. I don't like my current lifestyle. I'm so lonely without her. And if anything happens to me, you know, I know that my friends, my family are going to blame her. I'm just going to turn this TV off behind me. It's very distracting, that's for sure. I know that when you're seeing this, you'll be thinking, oh, what is he doing? Why is he posting this when he's not in that state? I'm not going to explain what happens in my hotel room. I'm not going to explain anything about it. Just know that I'm releasing this video because there's so much I want to say and I have to say it. I've had two great loves in my life, and there'll always be a place in my heart for both of them. I've got some amazing friends. I disappoint my friends. I disappoint my family. But I know for 6 years I didn't disappoint my ex. I mean, we did have bad arguments, and I apologize for that. But we had some amazing times. Flights to Melbourne, Sydney, you know, taking her out for her birthday to her favourite place. We had a lovely time. And she can tell you that she enjoyed the dates. I mean, we went on dates like 3-4 times a week. You know, we lived 30 minutes apart, but that didn't stop us from seeing each other every night. She would stay here half the week, and then she'd go up to hers for 3 nights. And people say, you know, you've got to love yourself before you can fall in love with someone. Well, that's a whole lot of shit. Because all my life I've been alone. I've dated a lot of people. But my first love and my current ex are the only people in my life that matter to me. Now, my first love, I have no idea what's going on. But I hope she's safe and well, and I love her. As for the last ex of 6 years, I love her with all my heart. I've said so many sorries on here, Facebook, but not once has she ever apologised to me. I do honestly think that this needs to be resolved. There's a thing in life where there has to be closure. The chapter has to close, the book has to close, so people can move on with their lives. I just honestly believe, unless she's a monster, there's still love in her heart for me. She can deny it, but it's true. Put her up to a lie detector test, you know what answer you're going to get. Do I think she's afraid? Of course. I'm afraid too. I'm afraid of what she'd do to me if we met, if I'm being honest. She knows where I live. Even if she hasn't got my number, she knows how to get here. And she knows that if she took a taxi here, 3-4 in the morning, she rocked up to my gate, she knows I'm going to be there to open that gate for her. I'm waiting for her to do the right thing. Now obviously, you know, from Tuesday, when this has been uploaded to Friday, I will not be in Adelaide. I'm hoping somehow very soon she comes and talks. I would not say anything to my parents. I hope she doesn't say anything to anyone else, and we can do it on our own. Because I'm willing to go behind everyone's back and meet her. Just the two of us. Fuck, I know she plays Pokemon still, so I'd give her a fucking shiny Pokemon. And I'd promise not to take her gym. Because I think she knows that I take her gym every so often. But that aside, I know that I admit to everyone on here, I don't want to cry myself to sleep anymore. I don't want to drink. In fact, I haven't for I don't know how long. I don't think anyone will ever love me again. And I kept my promise. I have not had an official girlfriend since we broke up. Yes, I've hooked up with a lot of girls, but I've not been in a relationship because I did say to her, you know, if we broke up, I would never be in a relationship again. And I stuck by that. That was in respect to her. Because I don't think there's any woman out there that is good enough to be with me. I dated and met up with a lot of people since me and her broke up, even though we technically haven't broken up. I have learned that I don't like the sort of people around Adelaide. Single mothers, druggies, users, abusers, people that are not meant to socialise with me. I have one problem at the moment, and it ain't my ex. It's just the way people treat me. I have an amazing friend that I'm seeing as we speak, but I don't think even she can fix me. She's got her own life. She's got her own family, got her own partner. I can't, and I won't interfere with her life. But she did help me. She came into my life and she's made a big difference. And then I have another beautiful friend that from day one, when all this shit was going down, I had come into my life, and we've been like friends ever since, from day one. And I don't think without some of the people that have been part of my life since last year, if I could have still made this vid. I'm a broken man. I'm happy with everything in my life. Financially, everything. The only missing piece in the puzzle is just that someone to share the rest of my life with. I would love marriage. Kids, that can always come later, because you gotta marry. When you marry someone first and you've been with them, then you can go, yep, this is the person that's worth having kids with. I feel like I let my parents down because I could have had a beautiful wedding this year, or last year. I would have thought by now my ex would have contacted me. I lie awake at nights till 5 a.m. in the morning thinking, I hope she calls. I hope she pops around. Why do I expect it? I don't know. You can see how hard this is to make this vid. You can see there's tears in my eyes, but I'm trying to be strong. I shall not show weakness, but I am. I've cried enough tears for someone that destroyed my life last year. I didn't destroy hers because she managed to find someone very quickly, within 3 months. I don't regret saying I love you. I don't regret singing songs last year to her, or doing a poem, or crying. Because that shows what a real man is all about. Showing feelings, compassion, love. I have nothing to hide, but I doubt that her current boyfriend can say the same. You just go on his Facebook and look at the sort of people on his Facebook. And if my ex knew the sort of people that he socialized with, I don't think it'd be a very good conversation. He knows that he's cheated before. He knows that he's abused her before. And he's got nothing. And I don't understand why my ex would want that. I've got everything she wants. I just don't know why she hasn't contacted me. I think it's because her parents have got something over her, or her current partner has got something over her. If I'm wrong, I hope she tells me that. But I don't think I'm wrong. I think she lies awake at nights too, thinking, Yeah, I wonder how he's doing. I wish I could tell him I love him, or I'm worried about him. Yes, you should be worried. So I'm worried about you, and I know you worry about me. But I need you to tell me that soon. I need your help. And I've said that 100 times, but I'm going to say it again. What if one day that, I drink too many of these and my heart goes out on me? Very big possibility, by the way. But enough on that subject. I'm not going to divulge my health problems to people on here, but one day the hourglass, the sands will end. Time will stop. And you will regret everything in your life you've done to hurt people. The one thing you need to do before that person's time runs out is make peace. Make peace. Because you would hate it if something happened to that person and you didn't get to make peace with them. You didn't get to say sorry. Ended on a good note. I don't believe any relationship, unless you stab the person, but I don't think any relationship should end bad. I mean, I didn't cheat once, and I could have a lot of times, but I stayed faithful. Even last year when I was in a nightclub and I could have hooked up with two girls at the same time, they both asked me, were you in a relationship? And you know what I said? Yes, I was. Even though I didn't know that my ex at the time had a boyfriend, I still acted like I was, I wasn't single. I told them, I got a beautiful girlfriend, beautiful fiance, and you know what the girl said? This is the craziest thing, they said, if you were my partner, I wouldn't let you out to a nightclub. No, I'm like, yeah, no. So even though deep down I was single, I wasn't acting single, I was in a committed relationship. And if my ex knew what these girls looked like, she would have been like, wow. At the time, I think I should have. Even though I didn't know she had a boyfriend, I should have hooked up with him. But I knew deep down that maybe I wasn't in a relationship, maybe I was, but if I can say I'm in a relationship in front of two beautiful girls and not be in one, they were hot. Everything my ex hated in a girl, that's what those two had. Short, skinny, blonde, skirts, fishnets, all that shit. And I said no. And I don't know what came over me that night, but I had the option that night not just to hook up with those two, but another one at the casino. I wasn't wearing anything flashy. I mean, I had my fancy shirt on, a suit jacket, suit pants. I looked pretty flashing. But I think it was the confidence I had, the charisma, that everyone was coming up to me and talking to me. Now, I don't go night clubbing at all. But for some reason, there was something about me that was interesting and people, shined towards me. So I was like, okay, take that for what it is. But if any friend is watching, I'm in a dark place. Well, dark room right now, but when I'm making this vid, I'm probably in a dark hotel room. Doing speculation. We haven't heard me say that for a while, but it's definitely not drugs. I'll be doing that for sure, because I don't do them. Never have, never will. Despite the rumours that people have told my ex that I was doing drugs and shit, fuck off. I don't do drugs. Never will, never. Never smoked a cone, never done a bong, never fucking done, ecstasy or fucking injection, anything like that. I've never done any of that shit. Like I said, there was a rumour last year that I was doing it, but no. The worst I've been is a drunk idiot. I'll admit that. But, yeah, I love her so much, but it's just ridiculous. It's just fucking ridiculous. There are people that do worse in relationships and they still stay together. Me and my ex used to fight all the time. Why is this any different? I should have gotten help. I will not deny that. But, you know, at the same time, why is it me that has to do all the work when it was her family that caused the argument in the first place? Her own mother caused the argument, pretty much. And I just think that, you know, everyone likes to blame me for what happened, but, you know, I put up with it for 6 years. 6 years of a family not liking me no matter what I did. I had a job, property owner, had a license, had an income, and that wasn't good enough for them. That wasn't good enough. And this guy that's replaced me has got nothing. And that's what pisses me off. I'm better than him in every way. Better than him than income-wise. Better income in so many ways. And in looks. But he has her. That's bullshit. He doesn't even fucking love her. And I do. He doesn't care really about her. He's just in it with the rest of her family. And that is so selfish. She deserves to be loved and cared for. And not be treated like a child. Because that's how they treat her. Her partner, her family, they all treat her like she's some hopeless, you know, young girl. But she's not. She's an adult. And I truly believe if she moved into her own place, away from her family, away from her partner, away from her sister, she would realise, fuck, she could have such a good life. We could have such a good life. I know a lot of people hate me. And it's cool. Hate me all you want. But at least when I go to sleep at night, at least there's love in my heart. Even it's broken. You know, no one will fix it. Nobody will fix the love in my heart. This is really hard. I'm trying not to cry because look at my eyes. Thank you for letting me share this. I don't know what's going to happen here in, I'm not going to tell you the location. If you are my friend, you know where I'm travelling, so. But it's 3 days or 2 days. If I choose to come back, or I don't come back. The clock's ticking. And if any friend cares or loves me, if my ex shows any decency and respect for me, I need help. Goodbye and good night.